Addressing a growing threat as world leaders meet at the G20, the acting Defense Secretary Mark Esper warning that the rising tensions with Iran risk escalating, quote, out of control. This as the country is set to exceed their uranium enrichment limit within days, according to reports. Joining us now is Robert Charles. He is a former Assistant Secretary of State. Robert, you know, the different signals that we're getting are very confusing here. You know, on one hand, they say that they put off the date at which the deadline they were giving the rest of Europe to come in and help them out. On the other hand, we see this report that they're going to exceed the limits within just a couple days. So either way, we're at a tipping point here. What do you think happens?
Well, I think keeping perspective is always important, and what we're really encountering here is a moment when it would be right and good, particularly with the G20 just around the corner, for unified sanctions that force diplomacy on Iran and delegitimize their nuclear weapons ambitions. The reason, and it's important for viewers to fully understand this, the reason that the breakout of the agreement with that enrichment is important is not because they're going to have a weapon tomorrow, but it's because if you go from 3%, which is roughly where they are right now in terms of U-235, uranium-235, and you take it to 20%, that can be done in days. And then in a matter of months, they can take it from 20% to 90%. That's weapons grade. And then eventually you can go from there pretty quickly, within, I'd say, a year, to potential weapons. So we do not want a nuclear Middle East. We do not want a nuclear Iran, and that's why the president is very successfully, I think, playing a three-level chess game. His first level is sanctions, the second is something cyber behind the curtain, and the third is really thinking about the use, making it clear that if needed, we will use military power. And you know, the other thing about this is to remember this is not the edge of war. This is more like the edge of serious diplomacy. In the 1980s, Ronald Reagan had to respond to something somewhat similar to this when the Iranians mined the Arabian Gulf. And the result of that was that they sank an American ship, and we sank about half of their Navy. So we're not, hopefully, at that point right now. The opportunity is high and right, honestly, for unified sanctions to force diplomacy.
So you talk about those unified sanctions. That's one thing that they're discussing at the G20. How receptive do you think that our allies will be? Because before, they were angry that the U.S. pulled out of the agreement. I mean, I think for financial reasons, because they wanted the business that they could get from Iran. But now, given the point that we are at, how receptive do you think our allies are to presenting a unified force?
I think more. And the reason is this. Again, perspective is very important. This nuclear agreement with Iran essentially legitimizes a future Iranian nuclear state. And what we have said from the beginning, what President Trump and his team has said, from General Mattis to John Kelly to Mike Pompeo has said, and John Bolton, this is not going to stand. We are not going to allow the legitimization of a nuclear Iran. So if you believe that as the most important endgame, you have to back that up. And we're at a point now where the European allies, I think, recognize that really the Iranians never intended to do more than delay becoming nuclear. And we're here to say that's got to stop.